Bonjour, bonjour, Gakena Anishinaabe Duk. Marvin Defoe, my name is, and we're here in Red Cliff, located if you in the wigwam. This is where this is where we make things. This is where we do a lot of different things in this wigwam. It feels good in here, I think.
Yeah.
It feels pretty good. So we're going to demonstrate. Making rice knockers. But before we do that, I want to turn it over to Richard here so he can introduce himself.
Bonjour, Kakana Wish. My name is Richard. Uh, Marvin asked me to come out and participate, help out, help make some racing knockers, getting ready for manoomin and K. So I'm happy to be here, honored. Miigwech.
The reason why we're laughing is we're pointing with our lips. Who's taking turns talking? So if you see us going like that, that's why we're doing that. I got another friend of mine. I don't know, you might see him in the background. Andy. Andy back, wave your hand. He come to help out too. In the settlement, we call him Fish Hawk. He's better known as Fish Hawk out in the settlement. Okay, so what we're doing is we want to have a virtual session on making rice knockers. That's going to be coming up ahead, and that's what we want to do. And the rice knockers is made out of cedar. And if Richard could hand me that cedar board, hand me one of these cedar boards. If you can look here, this is some of the cedar that we harvested here in Red Cliff. A couple weeks ago, we had a storm come through and knocked a lot of trees down. So instead of the cedar just laying on the ground rotten, we decided, well, we'll put it to some good use. So we went out in the woods where these trees were down and harvested this cedar. This particular tree actually was probably about this big around. It's about this big around, huge. It was a big tree, probably over 100 years old, that tree. So what we did is we cut the tree into this length, because this is the size of knockers that we're going to make. We cut the tree and we split it. We split it just like a pie. This is how you would cut down the middle, cut the sides, and then you had side like this, and then we split it down there. And this piece here, if you split it right, you can follow the cedar right down the growth ring, right down the length that you have. Hand me another piece there. You can show it. We got a lot of different pieces here, but here's another piece. So this one here would be like that. Would be like that on the tree. And here's a big. And we use a tool like this, and we call this a froe. So when I'm talking to Richard, asking him to hand me the froe, I'll say, Richard, hand me that froe, bro. And then you just go down the growth ring, pound it in there, bam, 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 and you split it like this. You split it out. And you would be amazed if you're very careful. It will go right down that growth ring, right?
Yep.
That's what we do. And that's what our ancestors did too. Of course, we didn't have a pro, but we had a tool where you just split that cedar. And these are the blanks that we got in making our rice knockers. So what we're trying to do is right here. If you look right here on the table, these are rice knockers. See how they look? I don't know, we guessed about that length. Pretty close. But these are the rice knockers that you're going to use when you go out on the on the lake, sitting in your jiman, in your canoe, ricing. This is how you do it. We'll make probably another video on actually going out ricing. But for today, for now, we want to focus on making the rice knockers. So I'm going to make a pair. Richard, you'll make a pair. I think Andy might make a pair. But first thing you got to do is you got to get this down. You're not going to carve on this great big piece. What you're going to do is split down and get out a piece to carve with. So what I'm trying to do is that's going to be the handle. So here's your handle right there. See how that's going to look right there. So that's your handle. So you don't need to carve on this whole piece. You want to get a blank out so you can carve on it. And I hope I can do it. I haven't did this for a while. See how it splits down that cedar? See, it's kind of running out, and just twist it. Wait, I gotta watch my leg. So there you go. You got thicker. So here's a blank. So I'd imagine this will be your handle because it's bigger, and you can see it's kind of getting smaller down there. So it's actually working out pretty good. That's what you want. You want a bigger handle, and as you go down, a little smaller on the tip. So I'll split mine out, and then Richard can split his out, right?
Yep.
That'll be all right. I think what I'll do here, Rich, is maybe split. Well, I'll just split it normally. Yeah, I made that a little bigger than I wanted. So here's another one. And if you make it too big like I just did, I'm going to cut a little more off. Because you got to carve all of this off. You got to carve it all off. And when you get to the carving part, it's actually pretty easy. Because all you got to do is carve off everything that don't look like a racing stick. That's all you got to do. That's what my dad, he was a wood carver. He was a wood carver. One time I asked him, hey, Dad, I kind of want to carve an eagle. Carve an eagle. How would I do that? So he gave me instructions. He said, well, just carve off anything that don't look like an eagle. I said, all right. But basically that's the point of this, is you carve and you kind of get your piece down so you don't have to do all the carving. I hope I do this right. There you go. So what I'm going to hand over, you might want to use that piece maybe. There ain't no knots in there. So Richard is going to do the same thing I did. And what we're going to do, what we want to do is we want to make little kits. We want to make some little kits, and we're going to have planers for you. We're going to have the wood for you. And basically all you need is a piece of sandpaper. That's about all you need to make rice knockers. So you just at your home you can sit there and carve your rice knockers with it. But we'll have a session on just making the rice knockers. So that's what we're doing here. Wow, that's a big piece now. Should I quit talking now or? Keep going. All right, Richard. So I'm passing it over to you now, look.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So, there's many ways to split this wood. This way, carve it with this, or draw knife would be another way. Getting set up on a draw knife. Today we have hand planers, knives, and I even brought a wood pile, a rasp. So on one side, sometimes I'll round it all off, smooth it off with this, and then go back with sandpaper once I'm done. So, getting these pieces all set up here.
Wow,
See how easy that is?
that split perfect.
That's nice.
Yep.
So, of course, if you don't have this, sometimes you use a hatchet or whatever, but you gotta be real careful.
You know, sometimes I'll use a draw knife too, and I was just gonna go over there and try to get one.
There was one, right?
Your draw knife there?
Yeah, right over here. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Sometimes a draw knife would work real good. And yeah, as Richard indicated, you know, there's different ways you could do this. I mean, the reason why we went out in the woods and got this, I mean, you could probably go to the lumber yard and get cedar. You can buy it. But what happens with that is the cedar you buy, it doesn't follow the growth rings. So this piece here, the growth ring is going to run from here all the way down to the end. And that's going to make a stronger stick. And you try to get cedar without knots. No knots. If you have no knots, the better. Right? In this piece, there ain't no knots. So this is going to be a really good stick when we're done. But, like I said, there's different ways you can utilize this. You could use power tools, but what I'm using is a draw knife because it's a little lighter. Because this is using the flow, and I'm just trying to round it out and being careful. That ain't gonna work. Give me that knife right there. No, come on in. You sit. What I'm gonna do, kind of round it up a little bit. Get an eyeball. You can see it's already turning around.
Already turning around.
It's turning around. See what I'm doing? I'm trying to make it round. Somewhat round. Then I can look at it a little better. See where I want to taper. So this will probably be the handle the way I see it. And this is a little smaller. This will be the end. Just kind of roughing it out. After I get it done, I think we can use the planer. But I like using a knife to begin with, because I'm pretty good with a knife. It's a carving knife. Ain't that right, Fish Hawk? And you can't see that on video, but right here in this wigwam, it's outside, it's about 100 degrees. In the wigwam, I'd say about, what, 68 degrees in there. Wind's blowing through. So that's why we're in here. It's kind of cool. Well, 68, I think that's a little too cool. 68, maybe it's about 70. Is that right, Fish Hawk, would you say?
Say so.
All right. I'm trying not to cut my belly. See? I did that one time, cut my belly open with a knife. And I try not to do that again. That's a whole different story right there. So, the reason why that one's pretty, you see how it's bigger and it's tapered down? I mean, there's certain rules when you go ricing, wild ricing. There's traditional rules. There's rules that you don't go out there until the rice is ready. You have rice chiefs all around the different tribes that right now they're checking on the rice. And they say when the rice is ready. Because when we go out, we don't want to, we want to be very respectful, very aware of not damaging the rice. But actually the stick is made this way so it don't damage the rice. It's round and it's big and it's curved down. So when you bring the rice in, it just kind of rolls, and then you go like it rolls on the roundness of the stick, and it's curved down like this, and the stock will kind of go down the stick. Now when you go ricing, you don't hit it, you're going to damage the rice. So you're going to be very respectful when you go ricing. Very careful when you rice. Bring it over your canoe and you hit it 2 or 3 times, maybe twice. You're just like a Shinabe combine. Shinabe combine, when me and Richard goes out there and rices, I like to pull and he'll rice. That rice will be just flying like that, just like he's a machine, just like a combine going. He goes so fast sometimes you can't even see them sticks move. Right?
Yep.
So, you got a mokum on it, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to rough out this one now a little bit.
So while Marvin was talking, I was over shaping mine, getting it shaped. We'll get them all shaped up first, like Marvin said, before we use the planers. Rough them all out. Less work to do with the planers. Knives are a little easier. Doing work with Marvin, I always noticed that he drew the knife in towards him. And I was always like, oh, I don't know. It's pretty dangerous. But, and the more, you probably don't, if it's like your first time, always pull it away. But I did it for a while, so I'm kind of used to the knife now. Feeling that knife, feeling the wood, and being really careful. Be real careful with these knives. It only takes a second to get cut, hurt. So I'm always taking my time and watching that. I have a really firm grip on this knife handle, so I kind of got more control that that knife in my hand. So that gives me kind of confidence, I guess, when I'm doing it, to carve. And it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. This piece of wood had a twist in it. Twist.
So what'd you do?
So I just followed that grain. I stayed on that grain and I kept eyeing it as best as I could. It still got like a little bend in there, but of course every piece ain't gonna be.
You try to get that out though. Just carve on the other opposite side.
On this side here.
Carve on that side
So the
first.
bend is here. I'm gonna carve up here.
Carve up there and then carve on underneath on the end. There.
Yeah. Here.
Let's straighten it out. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna try to straighten that out.
Right on, bro.
Straighten it out with the pro. No pro.
Straighten it out with the pro, bro. Work with the pro.
Start carving something.
Yep. Grab your wood. Grab your planer.
Yep.
I mean, you can make your whole stick with just a planer too. You know, you could do it that way. But if you do have a knife, it just kind of, and you're more apt to carve with the knife, you know, go ahead and carve that way.
Now you see on that end, it's square right there. Square, and then this end here, I got it rounded. So now I got to round this end and get this handle where I want it. I would want that. I don't want this handle. That's kind of big, like that, like that in your hand, and you'll feel that. So once you get mine was kind of a big piece.
Yeah, you made a big piece there.
So we gotta do a lot of shaving on this one. Get it down. But it takes a little work.
You gonna make one, Andy?
I'm working with cedar, which is nice because it's easier to shave. Not hardwood or kind of easy to go through. These big shavings, that was nothing. Didn't feel like anything. So I just take my time, get it shaped up where I want it.
All right, again, we're going to be doing this activity and making a step. We're getting down to the end now. We're getting down to the end. I'm going to take this off so you can hear a little better. We're getting down to the end, so here pretty much is the finished look of your racing stick. Here's another one, pretty close. And I just measured it, and the length too. We didn't talk about the length, but the length of this one is 37. And I believe the legal racing length is 38. 38 long. I mean, you can correct me, but I think 38. You got different lengths. It don't have to be this long. It could be only this long if you want. If you're comfortable that long, that's fine. You know. So your length is what you're comfortable with. But these sticks are pretty much getting down to it. And all we need to do is sand them off. Richard has a stick, one that he finished. And I got one. Which one's better? No. Only kidding. So all you need is, well, this sandpaper here is number 80. I like to start with a little coarser one and then get down to the finished one. This one here is 150. So the 80 is a little coarser. I'll give Richard a little piece of this.
I got some right here.
Is that coarse?
150.
Here's the 80. All you're doing is sanding it down and sanding the rough edges down, see? So you're trying to get that off. You want it to be smooth. Smoother the better. Hey, then if you had here you go, Fish Hawk. You want to do some sanding? I'll grab this one. Sanding so hard, I can just feel that burn. You burning you?
Yeah, burning me.
Friction. Right there, might start on fire.
Yeah, going so hard it might even start it on fire. And when you're sanding, you should actually wear a mask from the dust. It's not good to really breathe that in. It's kind of harmful, actually.
Did you ever roll it and sand it that way?
No. No, when you're sanding, follow the grain. Always follow the grain runs from this way, this way, so you'll sand like this. Don't sand like this because it scratches it, because you're going against the grain. So always go sand with the grain. Then you get a better finish. You don't really have to put a finish. Or you don't have to put varnish on it. You could just leave it like that. Or natural. That'll work. I mean, I put beeswax. I've done that, beeswax. Or you could put some animal fat on there if you want. I've done that. Or you put some forehead grease on there. Huh?
Make it just glisten.
It really be shining.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Alright. Well, there it is. We're all done. We're all done, and we hope that you enjoyed this video. And we're doing this to keep going, keep things going in the community, to do some more activities with it. And again, be looking forward to meeting you again, because we are going to have a virtual rice knocker making, I don't know if you want to call it workshop or whatever, but but we're going to have everything available for you, the wood, the planer, sandpaper, etc. For you to make your own rice knocker. And these will be used for you or your family or or somebody who you can work with to go out and go rice and get your own rice. And we're going to be doing a series of these. The next one will be going out ricing, and we're going to do a processing the rice. So Chimi Gwitch, and looking forward to meeting you later. Richard is going to have some words too.
Boozoo. So again, here's the finished product. You see how a lot of work goes into shaving and cutting and doing a lot of work just to make that knocker come out the way that it did. And we'll be ready to go ricing probably in about 3 weeks, maybe a little bit later. And but we should be all ready to go out on the waters, and I hope to see you there. Hope you come down and rice with us, have some fun. So Miigwech and Pigawabamin.
Aho! Neil.